For as long as we've had music, composers have been trying to tell stories in sound. In the world of orchestras, this starts with Vivaldi and his famous Four Seasons, each concerto giving a vivid description of the sound of the weather and how we're affected by it. Beethoven elevates orchestra storytelling art with his Pastoral Symphony, in which thunderstorms, playful peasants, and the serenity of the countryside find expression in songs without words. In these concerts, the first concerts of the new year, on January 8th, 9th, and 10th, guest conductor Asher Fish and pianist Daniil Trifonov tell stories in three ways, with music of Liszt, Rachmaninov, and Richard Strauss. We give Franz Liszt credit for inventing what we now call the tone poem. It's a form of music where a tale is told in tones. No singing, no recitation, just the mighty modern orchestra weaving a tale. By the 1850s, when Liszt began working on his tone poem Les Préludes, he was already a worldwide phenomenon. His piano playing was the stuff of legend. His romantic affairs would have fueled several tabloids. And his music? Well, his music was breaking boundaries on all fronts. Highly chromatic, extremely virtuosic, and some said, devilishly inspired. The truth is, Liszt was a tirelessly painstaking performer and composer, and this third tone poem, Les Préludes, took him years to perfect. In the end, it tells a story that is not really a narrative at all. It's a journey of the emotions, asking more questions than giving answers. The poem associated with the title sees all the exertions of our lives as a prelude to our death. In several sections of contrasting music, sometimes sublime, sometimes stormy, Liszt conjures up a cauldron of emotions. In the end, the storm-tossed soul finds rest in the most majestic music of Liszt's long career. Another piano virtuoso continues this concert as the young Russian pianist Daniil Trifonov makes his Atlanta debut. He will play the Paganini Rhapsody by Sergei Rachmaninov. Like Liszt, Rachmaninov was a multiple-threat artist, phenomenal pianist, superb conductor, and brilliant composer, and not just for his own instrument, but in opera, choral, chamber music, and symphonies. On these concerts, we're offering his final concerto for piano and orchestra, the Rhapsody, on a theme by Paganini. There's a devilish connection here, too, as Rachmaninoff uses the theme for his set of variations, one of the caprices by the violinist-composer Niccolò Paganini, himself accused of consorting with the devil to gain his virtuosity. By 1934, when the Paganini Rhapsody was premiered, Rachmaninoff had not seen his native Russia for decades. He was a self-exile after the Communist Revolution of 1917. The solace of his wandering years was wealth, gained not as a composer, but as the towering pianist of the first half of the 20th century. His fire-breathing concertos, numbers 1 through 4, were behind him, and in this compact and brilliantly organized set of variations, Rachmaninoff distills his storytelling power into just minutes at a time. Each variation takes Paganini's original leaping melody and obliges us to hear it anew, with new ears. Now the melody is upside down, now drawn out, and in the famous 18th variation, transformed into one of the greatest love poems in all symphonic music. It all happens in just about 30 minutes' time, but the emotional journey is that of a sprawling Dr. Zhivago-like novel, and I cannot wait to hear and see Daniil Trifonov bewitch all of us with his playing. The great Argentine pianist Martha Argerich has said this 20-something Mr. Trifonov has everything and more. A prominent music critic has called him a pianist for the rest of our lives. Okay, so after you've caught your breath at intermission, come back into the Symphony Hall as we offer the apotheosis of the tone poem. If Franz Liszt arguably perfected the form, Richard Strauss in the 1890s had the last word in the zenith of the tone poem's expressive power. With a massive orchestra at his disposal, and yours, he tells the story of the ultimate hero in his grand tone poem, A Hero's Life. Where Liszt was trying to describe emotional states of being in Les Préludes, Strauss goes one better and creates scenes and situations for his hero. There's battle music, music for great noble deeds, and music of great tenderness. Strauss scales the heights of virtuosity in this tone poem using the orchestra as a whole and individual players. Our concertmaster, David Kushran, has an especially important role to play as the voice of the composer's beloved. Now, it's all just a little bit over the top, as the English would say, but it's still a glorious example of what the modern orchestra can do to raise your blood pressure and to give you a thrill that no recording can match. And in the end, that's what makes this concert and all our concerts special. You may own the most amazing sound system at home, have all of the orchestra literature on your iPod, and that's great. But to get genuine goosebumps, come to Symphony Hall for these concerts and experience the thrill of a great orchestra soloist conductor in full cry. There's nothing like it.